Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, and today it's something that I never thought I would say in my whole life. We are going to review Digimon. Pokeland got a new update. It's the Digimon and Pokemon crossover, so now we have our first two Digimon evolution lines in the game. We have Agamon and we have Gabumon. Now Agamon, it's a fire type that evolves all the way to a fire steel type, while Gabumon is a water type which evolves like all the way into a water steel type. We are just going to give a quick review on them, also talking about the new held items that we also got, and also I will give my opinion on the Digimon placement in the meta. Let's start with the fire type Agumon. So we have Agumon, we have Greymon, we have Metal Greymon, and also we have War Greymon. This should be the mega evolution. All of those basic evolutions really have just some very basic skills. They are not playable in any way except your early game. But then we also have an overlord, which is War Greymon X. Looking at the skills of this Digimon, we have a passive which suggests that this Pokemon... I'm going to struggle a lot by saying Pokemon and Digimon. This passive suggests that this Digimon should be a tank because it increases its own speed by 25% when the HP is lower than 50%. It also says that you get a combo effect with 50% chance of being triggered. But what is this combo effect? I really have no idea. It's not on any description of any skill. It could be the support skill over here, the Post Blast, but I really don't know. First, we have a water move with 90 skill power. It's a group move, and this is the only skill that scales out of your own max HP. Remember that the passive would suggest that we need to be a tank to play this Pokemon, this Digimon, and the Z skill of this Digimon is also based on 35% of the max HP and ignores defenses. It's a group move, 110 skill power on the Z skill, 90 skill power on the other normal skill. Then we have a self buff, I believe, which increases the special attack by 50% and the speed by 100. The Z skill increases by 80% special attack, the speed is the same. Skill number 3, nothing special on the description, just ignores the guards and deals some damage and absorbs some HP in return. But we have a 150 skill power, which is quite a lot. And the Z skill basically just increases the amount of HP you get in return. On the ultimate, you remove any spotlight effects, any buffs, any guardian souls, and you can attack the Pokemon if they are flying, diving, whatever, and 190 skill power. And I think the Z skill of this ultimate has the wrong description because it does not give anything extra new and it actually has less skill power, which makes no sense. Related to skills and abilities, nothing new, really, and the same will apply to the other Digimon, Mega Garurumon. Same logic as the previous one. We have Gabumon with some basic evolutions, Garurumon, Were Garurumon, then we have Metal Garurumon. All of those are so this one should be the Mega evolution, right? All of those have some pretty basic skills and basic passives, etc. But Metal Garurumon seems to be way more interesting. So let's take a look at Metal Garurumon X. And we have a lot of text over here. Let me just try to be quick with this one. When he is in battle, he removes all the weaknesses of Ice-type Pokemon. We will talk about these weaknesses in a second because the buff also provides to itself and all the Ice-type Pokemon a damage increase by 50%, damage reduction of 40%, and then 60% damage absorption. Also, when the battle starts, this Digimon gets 50% extra rage, 30% extra skill damage, and 50% extra restriction damage reduction. And not just that, also 30% extra restriction damage. All skills can attack Pokemon that are flying, diving, etc. And also, on top of all of that, in battle increases your own 20% HP, 20% to both attacks, and 20% speed. So just on the passive, we already have a lot of stuff going on. And don't worry, we will talk about the place of this Digimon in the meta. The first skill is an Ice type skill with 60 skill power. It's a group move and it will freeze all of the enemy Pokemon, and if they are not able to be frozen like Pokemon with Safeguard, it will deal 100% extra damage. And on top of that, it deals 20% Reaper damage based on your own HP. Also increase the restriction damage to all of your Pokemon by 30%. The Z skill basically increases the amount of the restriction damage that you are giving to all of your Pokemon. Skill number 2, Steel type. type, ignores the Guardian Souls, and deals more damage the more rage you have. This skill with full rage has an extra 100% damage, which means it goes up to 160 skill power. Now this skill on the Z version is actually a very strong skill because it will ignore immortal effect of accessories, so it will ignore the Ho-Ho set if it kills, and after you kill it using this skill, it permanently increases your attack and speed by 30%. Skill number 3 is the non-type skill, single target, 90 skill power, also has 200% hit and additional 200% crit, and absorbs all the buffs and shields on the target. On the Z skill, basically just gives you extra crit damage and a little bit more skill power. Going to the last skill, the ultimate, we actually have something interesting. So first of all, basic stuff, ignores and dispels the Guardian Souls, freezes all the enemy Pokemon, all of that is cool. But then based on your 20% of your own max HP, it will deal physical and special attack damage of Ice type using the same force, a damage of the same force, okay. And it says damage based on HP, ignores defenses, and reduces 30% speed of all the Pokemon of the enemy, will last for 2 rounds, cannot be dispelled. What I think that it's very curious is honestly the damage based on the max HP. If you are a late game player, you should already know that you should only build one type of damage in your Pokemon, because then if you want to inherit your Pokemon around, it's easier only having just one single type of damage than having just multiple damages spread on your Pokemon. In other words, what I mean is that even on Pokemon that use both physical and special attack on their skills, you should only build one specific type of attack. But this ultimate though, even if you build this Pokemon as just physical or just special attack, this ultimate also deals 20% of your own damage based on your own max HP. So I am wondering, will we deal like 40% damage based on your own max HP? Would be interesting. The Z Ultimate basically just gives you some extra buffs such as 100% crit, more damage to frozen Pokemon, and decreasing a little bit more speed to the enemy Pokemon. Before we talk about the meta, let's also talk about the held items. The held item of Garurumon X, it will provide skill power by 36%, and the skill power will be increased by 6% every time you deal a crit. And if we go to the Friendship Soul, which is a held item of Mega Garurumon X, the skill power is increased by 36% and the speed is increased by 10% after each crit. So all of that actually looks very nice and looks very interesting, but now the question that most players have right now: will this affect the meta? Just really quick so that I can explain to you guys what really defines the meta. Even though this is a tier list from 1 year ago, it's missing Flare Zygarde and it's missing Overlord Creator, for example, but the top tier Pokemon still remain Sword and Shield and Black and White, with Diancie also staying very much up there and Flare probably staying around over here with Diancie as well. What really defines the meta, it's usually 2 big conditions. Your Pokemon needs to be fast enough to attack first, needs to have enough damage to take down the enemy, and if possible needs to move multiple times because of Ho-Ho sets. Or your Pokemon can also be super fast and super tanky at the same time, also having a lot of damage, so basically that's the resume of Sword and Shield. Then for example in Diancie's case, she is tanky enough to take a Black and White dance and can kill Black and White in return. So as you can understand, you either need speed and damage, or you need to be tanky to deal damage in return. So if we look at Greymon X, we don't have those attributes, for example the tankiness. We don't have the battle start speed, so if we don't have battle start speed, we need to be tanky somehow. And related to abilities, nothing changed, we have access to heavy armor, I mean at least we have that. But there's nothing much that like it gives us like very good things to pick, especially related to speed, battle speed. You get like more speed if your HP is lower than 50%, okay, nice. But we don't have like damage reduction, we don't have like anything that helps us being a tank Digimon in order to just survive those big boy Pokemons. But then, what about Mega Garurumon X? Because honestly, we have a lot of damage reduction, we have a lot of damage as well increase, and also more HP and more speed. We also have access to heavy armor, by the way, but I still don't think it would be enough. I feel like it could actually be very interesting to be played, and in a way, because it's a steel and water type, so it has reduction against ice type moves. So in a way, it could actually be a little bit resistance to the black and white dance. Black and white, they have echo power, they will move first because they have a lot of speed, they will just most likely dance on that Digimon, and when I mean dance, I basically mean like using the ultimate non-stop until this Digimon is basically just dead. But on the passive, it also says that it removes all the ice type weakness and also provides very nice damage reduction buffs and damage increase buffs to all the ice type Pokemon. And related to ice type Pokemon, the only ones that would be kind of playable to play with that Digimon would be Black and White Resonance, because if you want to play Overlord Unova, honestly, usually Overlord Unova is played with Overlord Black and White. So basically, if you are removing the ice type weakness, not removing the ice type, just the weakness, right? We are removing the fighting type weakness, we are removing the rock type weakness, and we are removing the steel type weakness. But even with the ice type weakness removal, even with the damage reduction, I don't think this would outweigh the possibility of a Mesprit. The good thing about Mesprit is that Mesprit will sacrifice its own HP to give Fury to all of your teammates. And since Black and White make each other move with each ultimate, basically they will have infinite ultimates as long as Mesprit is alive. So I honestly don't think that all of these buffs would matter in a Black and White team, because the main goal of a Black and White team is just to move first and kill the enemy, and it would most likely give you more damage output with just the Mesprit compared to the damage increase that you get from this passive. Maybe this Digimon could play against other Pokemon of the meta, but honestly, there's like so many Pokemon that will probably just outscale, like Creator Arceus gets much more speed from the costume and much more damage from the Infinity typing, and I believe that Digimon would not stand that. Or some people even ask me if Raikou would be better because, well, I love Raikou, and I think Raikou would be faster because being a resonance, and the extra echo power from Raikou would probably just allow me to do enough damage to that Digimon. Also, Armor Mewtwo would probably have advantage since it starts with more speed in battle. So honestly, even though it feels like it would be a really good Digimon to compete with a lot of meta Pokemon, but I don't think it's good enough to compete at the top tiers of the meta. If there's more Digimon in the future, I would honestly enjoy if they are not as strong as the meta Pokemon, but instead they would be strong enough to provide support to the Pokemon that already exist. Because playing a Digimon as a main damage dealer would be something with a different vibe, I would say, but if you have a Digimon that just provides like extra support to your existing Pokemon, I believe that would be cool. Anyways, this was about it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Press start.